Drag racing fan Between the Slicks is live. I think, personally, I'm a bit biased, the most diverse drag racing talk show out there. We don't just talk to champions. We don't just talk to drivers. If it's anything to do with drag racing that's between those slicks, we'll talk about it right here with yours truly, the Monday Morning Racer. Well, I've got my Gearhead coffee, as you can see, enjoying it. Find your favorite beverage as we have, well, an impromptu ladies' night. Both guests are ladies in the industry, one in tools, another on a motorcycle. Definitely looking forward to this episode of Between the Slicks. Some big news out there in the drag racing world, the buzz, you could say. And, well, you know where I get my drag racing news, competitionplus.com. By the way, hosting a live show called the Power Hour, along with my co-host Slammin' Sam on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. So, what's going on in the world of drag racing? There is a buzz about someone changing an address in Brownsburg, Indiana. Some shop swapping or additions. It seems to be a buzz around the Cruise Petragon Racing team. I reached out to Caleb Cox today and see if I could get any news. He wasn't budging, but he says some big news is coming, possibly tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled at competitionplus.com, and you know the Monday Morning Racer will definitely be sharing it. Let me say hello, Greg, Powerbuilt. Thank you for being here. We're looking forward to having one of your employees on here in just a few moments. Sam, man, thank you for your support. Good to see you. Good to have you on. Well, look, without any further delay, let me bring in the first guest for tonight, Desiree Martinez. How are you doing, Des? Uh-oh, Des, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Great. There we go. I thought, oh no, not technical difficulties again. The joys of being live. You never know what might happen. Des, I hope you're doing great this evening there from the Long Beach location, as you mentioned before going live. So, folks, I wanted to bring Des on because, well, yes, she's involved with tools, and who doesn't like tools? I mean, I love tools. You're out there and you love tools, and drag racing uses tools. But I would hear Des on Tool Time Tuesday with the Caruso Family Racing. They have a show on Tuesdays, and I'm listening, and I'm like, you know, this lady is more than a pretty tool lady. Like, she knows something about drag racing, and it's that there's some depth there, and I was impressed. And I think, folks, you all will be impressed as well. So put some questions to her. She'll be able to answer them. But Des, yes, the drag racing background for you and your family, explain it to us. How deep does it go?
Sorry, one more time because you were breaking up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Your drag racing background for your family, how deep does it go?
So it goes back quite a ways. I will tell you that it started with myself racing juniors. Later on, my sister got involved and we raced juniors together. So we started, I started in juniors when I was about 14, and my sister started in juniors when she was 8. So we've been around the racetrack for as long as I can remember. My first national event was when I was 3 years old. So I've been around drag racing since I could basically walk. It was something that I always loved. My dad took me out to the racetrack when I was real little, and I always loved being out there. You'd kind of walk by and you'd see all the cars, hear all the cars, and eventually I saw a junior one day. I looked at my dad and I said, "Hey, Dad, I want to do that." And that's how we got started. So I had the experience and the opportunity, and honestly, I feel blessed to be able to have the drag racing background that I do have. And drag racing, there's so much more to it, especially when you're involved and you get to experience a family. So drag racing, it's a very big sport, but at the same time, it's a very small sport when it comes to your teams. So each team out of every state, you kind of get to grow older with each other, which is awesome. And you get to see everyone from the time they're little, from people that start off in juniors. For example, when I raced juniors, Leah Pruitt raced juniors, Erica Enders, Courtney Enders, they all raced juniors. So that was kind of my age group with everyone. And now you look at the girls now and look at what they're doing. They're amazing, and they're professional women drag racers, and it's just awesome.
Definitely so. I loved my time in junior dragsters and still have a desire to be out there on the track. So, yeah, I know the joys of juniors, know the trials of juniors. It's amazing how competitive kids, because, you know, doing juniors, you're still a kid. It's amazing how competitive you can get. One of your favorite moments behind the wheel for you, a win, a challenging moment. What, as a competitor, what's a moment that sticks out in your mind?
So something that really, really sticks out with me, and it wasn't when I was racing, but it's when my sister was racing. And this goes back to being how family oriented the sport is. My sister was racing. She was in Tucson, and we left the track. It was my mom's birthday, so we're rushing to get home to have dinner with her for her birthday. And the truck and trailer caught on fire. So you see everything go up in flames. It's absolutely crazy. It's horrific. My poor sister saw my dad try to open up the trailer door, walk into the trailer, and try to save a few things. So she saw him basically walk into a burning trailer. She was still young at the time, but it's crazy because we lost absolutely everything in this trailer fire. And 2 weeks later, our drag racing family all came together, and she was out racing 2 weeks later. Suit, helmet, car, motor, you name it, everything. My dad had burnt his hands, and we had a great group of people there to support us and help us with everything. So it's an unbelievable feeling when something like that happens. You lose absolutely your entire racing operation. Everything goes up in flames, and within 2 weeks, everyone came together. They helped us with everything to make sure that she was racing that weekend, which was just an emotional experience. And it still is emotional, just because I remember all the hugs and all this, just people that came together from all over the place. It was awesome, though.
It's amazing how the racing community, and I would say in particular, out of all the racing communities that there are, that drag racing in particular seems to do this. You know, you'll see when someone needs to make that quick turnaround and they don't have all the guys, even the team they might have beat, go over and help rebuild the car and get it back out there on the track. Someone may loan parts and pieces, and man, got the whole racing operation back for you guys, for your sister to go to racing. That is spectacular that you all were able to experience that. Now, with all this happening, where is it happening? What's the home track? You know, where did y'all lay down your racing roots?
I'm sorry, you were
it's good. Okay,
breaking up on me there.
No problem, no problem. Your racing track, the home track, which one is that?
Our home track, it used to be called Firebird. It is now Wild Horse Pass out in Chandler, Arizona. So that was our home track. It's literally about 10 minutes from our house. And the other tracks around us were Tucson and Speed World at the time. So Speed World was a little bit closer to the Wickenburg area, but it was ran by, it was a family track. Speed World was probably one of my favorite tracks because it was super family oriented, and it was always a fun track, and I always did well there.
Yeah, you definitely love the places that you do well. I think of you saying that. I think of Johnny Placino in the PDRA and Extreme Pro Stock. He really loves Galat. He has never lost a race at Galat. From Outlaw 632 to now Mountain Motor, he's never lost a race. So you do. It's weird how you build relationships with a location. I can remember racing at Ware Shoals Dragway and loved racing there. But then we would go to somewhere like Greer, and nothing against Greer Dragway, but just it never felt right. So, yes, it's definitely strange how that can work out. Chris, man, thank you for watching. Greetings from Oakdale, California. Someone else in California tonight as well. Thank you for watching, Chris. Well, Des, look, tell us, what is your official title there at Powerbuilt Tools? Clue us in.
So official title is sales manager. I basically cover anything and anyone that is looking to buy tools. I cover all territories, anywhere from, for example, I was talking to someone today that's in Brazil. So all across the U.S., all across the country, all across the world, honestly. So All Trade is a really big company, but it's actually a really small company. And I say that because we have an amazing group of people here in the LAO office in Cypress, California, and again, I'm going to go back to family here. So there's about 35 people that work here in this office, and we are a global company. We have an office out of Taiwan and Shanghai. But in this office alone is where everything happens, as far as ground zero all the way up until sales, which is where I'm at. So we design it, we build it, we do a lot of stuff in regards to making things better and easier for the end user to use. So a lot of the ideas come out of this building here in California.
All right. Well, I'm glad something good is coming out of California. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Hey, Chris has got a question. He says, is it very stressing as a sales manager? Can it be a stressful job, or are you within a situation that, it's kind of easy and breezy, or has 2020 made it very stressful and challenging with everything we've had going on?
It's a bit, that's a great question. So here's what I will say. 2020 has definitely been an interesting year. We had the partnership with Alex Laughlin in ProStock. So from a business standpoint, 2020 has been difficult for everyone. Of course, having the partnership, we were super, super lucky that the first two races that we chose were the Pomona race and the Phoenix race. So we were able to actually have Alex Laughlin's ProStock car wrapped in the Powerbuilt, if you guys saw that. So just think about it. We wouldn't have chosen those two races, and had COVID would have happened as it did, and those two races, we wouldn't have been able to have the car wrapped. It would have gone a completely different way for us. So I feel extremely blessed in 2020 that we had the opportunity to have the car wrapped for both of those races and be able to have the races themselves. So from that perspective, it's been an interesting year because there's a lot more that we wanted to do. There was a lot more that we would have loved to have been able to do, but COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of that. But a great thing that came out of it was the tool time with the Carusos. We kind of utilized the time to be able to do something a little different. And that's kind of how this came about as well. So everything pretty much changed to virtual, which has been fun and interesting. We had never had a system where we had virtual conference calls, even within the building here itself. And as COVID happened, there was a lot of things that people had to learn how to change, be flexible, and all of the above. So it's been an interesting year. Sales have done really well in some areas, and it's been, honestly, I'm going to say that it's been a blessing that we have been doing the business that we have still been doing with COVID. So it's been fun. It's been challenging, but everyone has been really flexible in making things work out.
So prior to COVID, no Zoom calls for Powerbuilt, no Skype sessions, nothing like that?
No, we didn't have.
I mean, did y'all have rotary phones still in the offices or what? That is fascinating. Well, glad that things have been brought forward through that. Definitely, yes, it's been interesting and challenging times, and things have had to be worked out in different ways to continue business, to continue relationships, and things of that nature. Destroyer, look, glad to have you on. Thanks for saying hello. Appreciate that. Des, look, we're going to show a Powerbuilt commercial, and then we're going to dive in particularly about the brand itself. And we've lost Des. Uh-oh. Well, folks, once Des comes back in, hopefully she'll be able to come back in, I will ask her questions like Chris has put in. How long have you been working for the company? Let's try Des right now. You there, Des?
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I just lost you.
Okay, you're good. You're good. Yeah, we've been it's very strange. Have some weird connections. No worries though. No worries. Look, we're going to dive into a quick commercial on Powerbuilt, and let's talk in particular about the brand itself.
From the beginning, you learn the value of the right tool for the right job. You learn to appreciate innovation, precision, durability, workmanship, and the reliability of the people who stand behind the products they make. Because in the end, the quality of the job relies on the quality of the tools.
All right, so when I began seeing you on Tool Time Tuesday with the Carusos on Caruso Family Racing, which, guys, y'all can find that on Facebook and also on YouTube, I'm like, and one of my first interviews ever at the track was Alex Laughlin, and so I would see Powerbuilt there, I would see it with the Carusos, and I'm like, I've never heard of Powerbuilt. Who are these guys? And I thought it was some startup. But I'm going to let you clue everybody in to the actually long history of Powerbuilt tools and, well, why they should be purchasing them.
So Powerbuilt, one of the biggest things that we were trying to do for 2020 was really try to build the name and build the brand. So we've spent a lot of time company-wise. Our company's name is called All Trade Tools. Some people may know the name. Some people may know the brand. If you shopped at Costco, you shopped at Sam's Club, you've seen that All Trade name. So All Trade's been in business since 1979. The home tool line for All Trade is Powerbuilt. So some people have seen Powerbuilt. If you've ever been to AutoZone and you've rented an installer kit, then you've seen the Powerbuilt name. If you've ever gone to Advance as well, you've seen the Powerbuilt name on the installer kits. The loaner kits or installer kits is what they're called. So some people that are your, I call them professional do-it-yourselfers, but people that go into Advance or AutoZone and they work on stuff, they have seen the name. So we've been in the business since 1979. We do a bunch of different stuff. Powerbuilt being our home tool line, we also have a strategic partnership with Ingersoll Rand. We have another strategic partnership with Caterpillar, and another one of our home lines is Kilimanjaro, where that was basically built for all of your outdoorsy, like your Cabela's, Bass Pro, all of that. So that's more of like your, I guess your knives, your multi-tools, flashlights. We even have machetes. We also have a relationship with our clubs, like your Costco and your Sam's Club. So what I'm actually sitting on right now is patio furniture. We are bringing in patio furniture for Costco, which is really cool. So we do a bunch of different stuff. All Trade is a huge company that does an enormous amount of different products. So not just Powerbuilt, but everything else as well. So we have over 4,000 SKUs. That's just to say how many products we have, but we do a lot of different items. Always trying to be innovative, always trying to be creative, and always trying to think of the next best thing.
Yeah, I've looked at the website with even just Powerbuilt, not even mentioning the other brands, and yes, there tends to be a leading edge to what y'all are doing that is fascinating, and there definitely are some innovative products. What are some products in particular that the brand is, I'd say, most proud of? I know they're all quality tools, but like what's one or two that this is our tool and we're glad we've got it and we put it forward?
So it kind of depends on what it is that you're looking for. We do a lot of different patented items. There's a bunch of different items that we do that are specific to what it is that you're looking for. We basically do a lot of specialty tools as well. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of our guys here, they spend time designing different products. So it's kind of hard to pick a favorite. I guess it just depends on who you're asking and what it is that you're looking for. We have our ProTech sets. It's built into an EVA foam tray. So these ProTech sets are, you basically take the foam tray, all your tools are inside of the foam tray, and you take it out of the box, you put it into your toolbox, and you're ready to go. It shows you if you take a tool out, you're missing a tool, you put a tool down, it'll show you what tool you're missing, so you know you have to go look for it. Hopefully it's not your 10 millimeter.
Yes, hopefully it's not your 10 millimeter, which that is great. That's great that you're able, they all have that product, and mechanics can help. We need all the help you can get to find things. We have so much in our day and time to stay on top of. And speaking of that 10 millimeter, there is a kit for that, right?
Yeah. And actually, if you make it out to the racetrack and you stop by Alex Laughlin's pit, we designed a little 10 millimeter package for him. So if anybody is out at the racetrack, stop by and ask for one of those.
All right. Yes, you can stop by, ask Alex. He will talk to you. He's a pretty cool dude. Speaking of Alex, why be associated with Alex? Why be on a pro stock car? Why be another tool company out there in drag racing along with the ones that start with M and S and C, which we will leave unnamed? But why Powerbuilt be out there?
So I've been with the company a little over a year. When I came on board, I was kind of a lot like everyone else, where who is Powerbuilt? What do they do? What's the name? And the biggest thing that I wanted to do was bring awareness to the brand, build the product, and let people know who we are. One of the things that I saw was, I've been out at the racetrack since I was 3 years old. You walk around and you see all the different sponsors on all the different cars. That was kind of one of the things that you notice. And for me, seeing those names on those cars as I've gotten older, there's a lot of companies out there that I would have never have known have existed had I wouldn't have seen it on that car. So when I came on board, I just randomly, and this is how literally random it happened, Alex had just won Indy, and I was on Instagram. I sent a message to him on Instagram, and I said, hey, any chance you're interested in doing something with Powerbuilt Tools? Few days went by. I honestly didn't think he was going to reach back out to me. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I didn't know that anything was going to come about from it. So he reached back out, and that's how everything pretty much started. It was basically building the brand from the bottom up. When I saw Alex, I've always liked the way that he's interviewed on camera. I've always liked the way that he's interacted with people in person. I'm the type of person where I have always noticed all these little things, and I've been to every single national event since I was 3. We kind of make it our family thing. So you know how some people have family trips and they go to Disneyland? Our family, every single national event in Arizona, we pretty much fall off the face of the earth to everyone else except everyone out at the racetrack, and we make that our family trip. So everyone knows if there's something going on, if there's a wedding, if there's a birthday party, we won't be there that weekend. But I've always walked around the pits and seen how drivers interact, and seeing who's outside of their trailer, who's out talking to who. And that was something that I've noticed in Alex. Just kind of, when he was with, he was sponsored by Gas Monkey, saw that, which is funny because I have a Gas Monkey shirt. And I think part of me did that because I really liked the way that he went out and talked to fans, talked to people. So fast forward, he wins Indy. My dad and I are sitting at home, and we're kind of watching the drag races on TV, and I'm trying to figure out how to build this brand and how to basically get sales, because I'm a sales manager. And that's how it came about. So one of the biggest things in looking at a partner is someone that's going to carry your name well, someone that is going to be respectful, and someone that knows how to talk to people. And kind of more or less, that's what I saw in Alex. He's a package deal from that perspective. You want someone like Alex to represent your brand. You want someone that is respectful. You want someone that can go out and talk to just about anyone. And as you can see, they call him the man of a million raps. He's out there talking to different sponsors all the time, which I think is incredible. He basically goes out and sells himself.
He does. He definitely does. I know that, again, Alex was one of my first ever interviews. Later on, the lady we're going to have on, Andie Rawlings, she was the first ever interview. But later on that day, Alex, I was able to interview him. And it was before the shades, before anything. I mean, there was no Facebook, nothing. I'm just like, hey, dude, can I get an interview? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So, and Alex has been
super down to earth like that.
He is. And he's one of the first stars of the sport that, like, we're later on at other events, he'd be like, hey, dude, and he would recognize me. So, yeah, people really have got him pegged wrong if they're like, oh, he's just a, stuck up rich boy. That's not the case. He's actually very down to earth, and he's a pretty hardworking dude. He definitely is that. So Destroyer 1320, he's like, hi from Arizona, Des. You're doing great work. So we got an Arizona guy in here along with the Arizona girl. And Chris, he had a good company. Definitely do want to ask this. How long have you been working for the company? So how long now have you been with Powerbuilt?
Just a little over a year.
A little over a year. Well, making definite big impact. I mean, got the name on the car. I'm curious, do y'all happen to see after an event with the name on the car, is there a little spike in sales? Do you notice that? Do you recognize that? I've talked with other sponsors, and they have had, they look at their data and they're like, yeah, we actually can see an impact like that.
Yes, absolutely. We've absolutely seen an impact in sales. We've seen a bunch of different new customers from it as well. That's another great thing, is being out at the track and having the name out there. People start to see who we are. So we've definitely increased sales from that perspective. It's also really helped with our social media. So if you're not already following Powerbuilt on Facebook or Instagram, please go do so. That's something that we are in the process of building, and that's something that has also been helpful in that. We do a lot of product demos on there. We try to show you what's the latest and greatest, as well as, for right now, for example, stocking stuffers. There's a bunch of different things that we do. You can also sign up for our newsletter. So if you go to powerbuilt.com, there is a newsletter on there that you will receive, that if you go put in your email information, you'll get to see everything on there as well. And while we're at it, I also have a promo code for you. So doing this show, we decided to do a MMR15. MMR15 gives you 15% off at checkout on powerbuilt.com.
Wow, I got a promo code. Yes.
You have your
MMR 15, 15% off. That's nice, folks. 15% off. So as Destroyer 1320 says, can we get an RFID chip on that 10 millimeter? Well, you can get plenty of 10 millimeters with 15% off. And look, who doesn't like tools in the stocking stuffer? Or maybe you're out there and you want someone to stop stealing your tools and borrowing them. Go get them their own tools. You can get 15% off from Great Tools by Powerbuilt. So Des, look, you're there. You're doing the tool thing. And every day, it's amazing how we're always needing a tool. And you need that tool it's always, I need it now. It's this moment, maybe just one time. What is your most favorite tool that you personally use?
My most favorite tool. So this is going to sound really funny, but I'm going to have to walk over and go grab it for you. But I, like anyone else, has a ton of Amazon packages that come through all the time. So we have a utility knife that I probably use on a daily basis. That's probably why it's my favorite tool. So I'm going to walk over that way. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a showroom here. So behind me back here, you've seen all the Powerbuilt stuff. So this is, I'm going to just kind of start off real quick. We do a bunch of different hand tools on the Powerbuilt side. Move along here. This is our Protect that I was talking to you about. So the Protect, as you can see here, if you're missing anything, like for example, there's some long nose missing here. We have to go find that now, but this is your Protect set. It comes in this EVA foam tray where you basically just pull it out, slide it right into your toolbox. We also do mechanic tool sets here. So here's your mechanic tool set where if you're on the go, you do a bunch of different mobile stuff. These are great sets here. Then you go into your installer kits, which I talked about in regards to some people have seen these if they know the Powerbuilt name. And then your specialty tools are all back here. So also we have Caterpillar, and let me grab the utility knife here. So I can't go much farther on the camera, so bear with me, but this is our utility knife. You basically just squeeze it and the blade pops out. You can also change the blades on here, which is really nice, and it gives you extra blades in the knife itself. So that's the Caterpillar utility knife, safety squeeze knife. It's great for someone like me who's always doing Amazon packages, or if you work in a warehouse, you can definitely use that. You can stick it in your pocket, not have to worry about it cutting you. On the Caterpillar side, we do knives, we do multi-tools, jacks, cargo straps, utility blankets, and tool bags. So this is all the Caterpillar side. If you are at the racetrack, also the rolling tool cart. If you're online, you'll see the rolling tool cart. So bunch of different stuff that we do, including this is our Allspace line. So Allspace is more of your home organization. So you have a really nice heavy duty panel back here. It's a pegboard that you can basically do for anything that you want. We have it displayed as an art set. We have it displayed as a kitchen. You can also use it for tools in the garage if that's what you're wanting to do, like this back here. So another thing that we do are Wagner Lights. So you have the Wagner Lights, the Power Glow lights. Then we go into our Vision lights. So Vision is another one of our home brands. Basically, there's little night lights up here. So if we turn the lights off, these will automatically come on, and there's little night lights on there, which is really nice. So they're great for your garages. They're great for your bedrooms. They're great for the halls. It's just a nice little ambiance too. So also here's some Vaughn stuff, bags, pry bars, and then our Kilimanjaro line. You have more of the knives, the multi-tools, the big lights, and this one always gets everyone. We do machetes. So not something that you would think comes out of our line, but it does. So here's some machetes for you. And then we can also do a bunch of stuff in private label. So you may not know our Powerbuilt line, but I'm sure you've heard of the private label line on the Duralast. So we do a bunch of different stuff from Powerbuilt to anything private label, and that's the next thing that I'm going to show you is something that we rolled out at SEMA. So SEMA of last year, we debuted Ingersoll Rand hand tools. So Ingersoll Rand, you know the name, you've seen it, you know what it is. As of last year, we came out with the hand tool side of it. So this is new. This is pretty much something that hasn't been seen other than at SEMA, but you have, again, the Protect, you have the heavy duty strength on here, you have the Ingersoll Rand name behind it. So this is your Ingersoll Rand set, and you can find Ingersoll Rand at IngersollRandHandTools.com. Also, IRHandTools.com, also available on Jegs.com.
Wow. Yes. Well, look, as I got people in the comments section mentioning they're drooling over everything there, and it is such a wide array of products that All Trades is doing, and Powerbuilt's got. It's amazing, amazing. Scott even mentions here, he says the handheld rechargeable air pump with the digital readout was a big hit with my dad. Thanks, Des. So, yeah, I got some folks already liking the products from Powerbuilt. Well, Des, look, it's been great having you on the show. We're going to have Andie come on in just a few moments. Andie, wave if you can hear us. Wave. Uh-oh. Oh, great. She's waving. She can't hear us, so we'll transition to Andie in just a few moments. Des, look, thank you for your time once again. And where can they go use that promo code?
Powerbuilt.com, MMR15.
Des, thank you once again for being on. Thoroughly have enjoyed it. Look forward to having you again.
Thank you for having me. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye.
If I can transition now at this moment.
FuelInjectorServices.com. It's essential that your fuel injectors perform at their peak, whether you're in your daily driver or high horsepower race machine, for you to get the most out of your vehicle. At FuelInjectorServices.com, we maintain precision fuel injectors with cleaning and flow testing, as well as providing the sale of genuine brand name injectors. It can all be done at FuelInjectorServices.com, the home of Flowzilla, one of the largest injector test benches in the country. Check out FuelInjectorServices.com. Veteran-owned, racer-tested, aerospace refined.
Really, guys, Grant Farmer is the owner of FuelInjectorServices.com. He is a racer himself. He's a former, he's a veteran. He also was, he also races himself. He gets what your injector needs, and you also can get new injectors from him. So go check him out for all your injector needs. Well, right now, I want to bring on, I think, the coolest lady in all of drag racing. Yes, I think she is, Andie Rawlings. Andie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Man, it is great to have you. Great to have you. When I started this show, I was like, well, I got to have Andie on as soon as I can. And I saw you at the World Door Slammer Nationals, and you're like, well, we're not doing the NHRA thing this year. And I'm like, oh, no. But you have been able to get out there and race. So very quickly, what went down at Rockingham? What group were you racing with? What association? What happened?
So a local racer, Donnie Huffman, he invited me to go to his electric live wire, and we actually started in Gainesville with the AHDRA, getting used to the bike and making rounds, and we had entered the race. We had a 20-mile-an-hour headwind, so we backed it up and went last weekend to Rockingham with the AMRA, so the American Motorcyclist Racing Association, which is all Harleys. You got your top guys and everything in between, your baggers, ET, and that's what we chose to participate in, was the ET race with the live wire. And it was awesome. Can't say enough about the live wire. It really's got a lot of get up and go. I call it a scooter on sides. So we entered the race, and we went out and made some test passes, and bam, like we were in 11 in testing, and the world record on it right now is an 11:15 by Angel Sampé. And so we knew, we had a target, and we came out swinging and turned around in qualifying. We put it in the 10. We went 2 10:99 passes. So that's Rockingham.
Yeah, to go out there and to win the race, I mean, that's a stellar weekend. I'm sure for you, with all that you've been through recently, that has definitely got to reinvigorate you in your racing career.
For sure. So yeah, to not only qualify and get the record, to turn around and take it to the winner's circle in the street ET class was very exciting. We did sit out this year. we were having troubles with our having lots of troubles with our motors last year, and it was costing a lot of money, and we didn't get to work a lot. It really shut things down, and so it was a great opportunity to get on a bike and go out there. And I guess I just put my head down, and when you work with a team that has 25 champions in the Harley world, you know, that helps too. Donnie's a great guy, and he's got a great crew, and of course I always got my family backing me. My kids went to Rockingham with me, and we were able to have Rusty with us, and it was exciting to have the family around and get back in there and loosen up and kind of get back into the roots of just street racing and the brackets and starting all over at the beginning. It was very, very cool opportunity.
I imagine so, definitely. Moto Lens Photos, thank you for the use of the photo. Appreciate it, and showing off Andie there in the winner's circle. So what is it that you're on exactly? I know it's a Harley Davidson, but you know, what's its power, you know, train? How's it propelling itself? What is that thing?
Well, so you can go right to the Harley Davidson website. I mean, there I'm on it, and it's the electric bike that they've been talking about for several years, and they finally got it out in the dealers. And I went and looked to see what the torque was compared to some of the other street bikes, and I believe it's 86 foot-pounds of torque, because that thing just really bites and goes, and it's easy just to sit down in it and let it rip down the track and do its thing. So it's 500 and I think it was 550 pounds. So it's a pretty stout bike. It's kind of tall. I mean, we did it all stock. It's anything from the factory. So for me, it was a challenge just to, you know, get comfortable on it and make a few passes. I believe the seat height is 30.2 inches. It's very tall. So it was very stretched out, and I barely could reach the ground. But it's, you know, something that they came out with, and, you know, I don't know if they're trying to get the younger group. The price is pretty high for that. But I mean, just to go out and go, it's an amazing little ride. It surprised my children. I did take each of them for a little ride, getting them back and forth from the starting line to the pits, and I dang near dropped my daughter off the back of the bike. Like, hang on, and she didn't take me serious. It's definitely got a lot of get up and go. And I know we were pulling 60 foot, you know, the yellow bike behind me, that's a 106 60 foot or a 112 60 foot. So it's a half a second longer, but it sure didn't feel like it. It just has a lot of pep and a lot of go. Kind of makes me miss back in the days when I used to race my Dyna Street Bob and you know, going wide out, except there was no way I would have ever the street bike and dump the clutch the way you can on this bike. It does have traction control, and it's a very neat feature. So it was, you know, just wide open and go. It was just getting confident and knowing that the bike would stay underneath me. And so if anybody's got a chance to go down to one of the Harley test rides and schedule a demo ride, I've heard it from several people, but definitely very exciting to hop on it, and you should definitely get to your local dealer and see where they're at and demo ride it for sure.
Well, very cool. I'll have to try to go and demo ride it. I will not tell them that I already totaled one motorcycle in my life, though. I will keep that from them and go demo it. Yeah. So yes. We were chatting. We were chatting on the Power Hour on Competition Plus that I host. You know, we're like, oh, what would you get on? And look, I'd be willing to try just about anything. Like if someone was crazy enough to let me be out there on a top fuel Harley, I'd do it. I might not make a full pass, but I'd give it a try. But yeah, I've already wrecked one motorcycle, so why not do another one? I mean, go ahead. And you had an interesting moment in at Gainesville. What now? 2-3 years ago on your Pro Stock motorcycle bike?
Oh yeah. So that's my big debut moment. So when we debuted, we didn't have a lot of testing time. The weather was really cold and not cooperating. So we went ahead on a whim and took off and went. And If you Rawlings on YouTube, you'll get to see the video. I want to say by 150 feet, I knew I was in trouble, and nobody told me what to do when you're going to hit the wall. I knew if I pulled the clutch in like I was told, if you're in trouble, you pull the clutch in, but I knew if I did, I was going to hit the wall. I also knew if I stayed in the throttle, I was also going to hit the wall. So I went ahead and clipped it and hit the wall about 300 feet down the track and rode the wall the entire way down. I believe it was still a 12-second pass. Came off the wall unscathed. The foot peg, let me move the right way, or feet fit, was sturdy enough and it stuck into the wall hard enough that it kept the body off the wall enough to get my leg up off of it. So I came out with a tiny little scrape. It's not even really a scrape, a little scuff, I guess is the right word, on my pro leathers. In fact, those were the leathers I wore last weekend right here in the picture. Still wearing them. Everything was okay, but talk about a wild ride. You can't do everything before you go out there. I mean, you get into situations that you never know. So some of it you just trial and error. Later that season, it happened again. And this time I decided not to pull the clutch in and take a ride on the wall. So I went ahead and this time my brain said, let's try something different. So I hung off the bike and tried to keep it off the wall and slowly rolled out of the throttle and just instead of slamming out of the throttle. And when I'd hear the rev limit ride shift, and it took several gears. I was in probably fourth gear at 1,000 foot before it finally settled down. Pro stock bikes have a really large car tire style of drag slick, and 300 pounds, it really wants to tell me what to do. So I have to learn how to use the horsepower and use the throttle and use what I have as good tools to manipulate what I need to do instead of manhandling and muscling. And so at that year, but yeah, if you go Andie Rawlings, you'll get to go watch it yourself. Sean Gann was next to me. So that was a moment I'll get to cherish forever since he is no longer with us. So I can always go watch him make a stellar pass if I go watch my video. And at the very end of it, you'll hear the announcer say, Sean just made a 694 pass. It was beautiful, but nobody cares because there's Andie. So I'm just happy we didn't total it and we were right back at it. It definitely took probably a whole year and a half to get that bike fitted to me and get it to listen and get it to where I could feel in control of it and really make some headway with it. I want to say 100 passes.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to eventually get everything under control and have the time to figure it out, because my moment, is like my third day of owning my Kawasaki Ninja 250. I go out riding with my buddy, and he's much more experienced. He's on like a Yamaha R6 or something like that. And we'd been having a good day riding in the mountains of upstate South Carolina. He would, before going into a turn, he would brake like once for, this is an easy turn, don't have to worry about it at all. Or he would, give me 3 taps on his brake for, you really need to slow down for this one. Well, we came into a downhill S-turn. I saw him brake for the first one. So I dove off in it. It was fine. But by the time I come to the second one that went from right-hander to left-hander, he was gone. So I dive off in this turn, only 3 days on a bike, never been on this road in my life, about 55 miles per hour. And kind of like what you described, I knew I had a couple of options in a very short amount of time. I could tap my brakes or lean the motorcycle more. And, well, not being used to being leaned over, I thought I was leaned as far as I could, though I could have really laid that bike over. So I tapped my brakes and it stood me out of my lean and straight to the ditch at 55 miles per hour. So yeah, totaled the bike, and I came out of it only an ankle. So yeah,
wowzers.
Yeah. So I haven't had a bike since, but would love to have another one. Look, let's talk about the bike you were on a little bit more, because some people just like me are kind of like, huh? So Scott, he says here, the electric Harleys have a clutch. So is this a hybrid thing? Is it fully electric? What's going on with this live wire? Is that correct?
Live wire, correct. So it's a full electric bike. You charge it with a charge cord, you plug it into the outlets, you don't put gas in it. So it's a full electric bike, right from the Harley factory. The clutches or centrifugal force is just literally like, our pit bikes that we use to push the big bikes around. You just literally, like, that's it. You just throttle into it. And of course, the faster and harder you throttle into it, the faster you'll definitely go. There's not a lot to it, really. And even though it's heavy, it handles beautifully. It corners beautifully. It's a very exciting ride. I don't know if any of you are followers of too much racing on here, but Kirsten Helling runs a Pro Drag Nitro Harley out of Wisconsin. I met her the first year I started racing my street bike, and she was there, and I asked her if she liked the live wire, and she said she hasn't even ridden it yet. So I definitely went and stopped by her pits and let her tootle it around, and I feel like, she's a Harley dealer owner, she should know. So she popped on it and came back, and she said the same thing. Like, it corners really well, and it handles and turns beautifully. Like, it gets you excited. It makes me want to get a street bike again, just any street bike. I haven't had one for 3 years now. After we got the professional team up and running, my street bike sat in the living room for a year. Thank goodness it wasn't an oil leaker. Carpet, and looked at it every single day for a year, and finally said, gosh, somebody needs to enjoy this ride. So I let somebody buy it and go enjoy it. Hopefully they still are having a lot of fun. And we've been, I've been busy between work and racing and kids that the street bike hasn't been a high priority, but it was so fun. It was so fun to get back out there and twist the throttle and get the hair going. I test drove it at his house. We both live here in Central Florida, and was just trying it out. We're not at the track, not racing, no agenda, just to see, how it handles and ride it, just pure riding. And of course, I'm in my blue jeans and t-shirt and sunglasses and boots. Like, isn't that what you ride with? Sure. So he took me through a neighborhood, and he knew there was a spot and had me stop and open it up and said, see what you can do with it. And it didn't take very long for it to feel comfortable and to twist that thing wide open and know that I went 110 mile an hour really super quick, and that it handled well. And I was like, dang, I'm not going 110 miles an hour with no helmet or anything on. It's been a long time since I've had the wind in my hair, but it was nice. It just felt amazing, and it handles so good, and the air feels nice around you. I didn't feel out of control. I didn't feel like the wind was taking over my tiny little body. It felt like, dang, this is awesome. Like, I felt like one with the motorcycle already, and I knew getting to the track would be a different story, and learning how it responds, and learning the lights, and figuring out a dial in, and all the stuff you do to bracket race would be a different challenge. But we just put that off to the side and just ride, and it made me remember why I took my street bike to Sturgis, South Dakota, and started racing it.
Well, I was definitely excited to see that you were back on a bike, back out there racing. I was excited to see that, and for you to have the success that you had, I was like, I was pulling for you. I was like, yes. And so it was so good to hear via social media what y'all were able to accomplish. Now, I think this year pro stock motorcycle in the NHRA, I think it was a banner year, even as crazy as things were with COVID-19. I thought the championship battle was great. I think the performances were great. For you as a onlooker this year and a fan of the class, obviously, what moment stands out in pro stock motorcycle in the NHRA as the best moment of the year?
As the onlooker watching it all, because of course I'm still a fan of the sport, so I still watched a lot of live timing and would watch the highlights. I didn't always watch it on Sunday. It takes too long for me for it to broadcast, so I like watching the live timing and watch how it comes down, and I like to figure my brackets out, while I'm sitting there wondering what's going on. There was a lot of favorites. So my first favorite, my top favorite, would be that Chris Bostick made it into the finals. That was amazing. He only made it to a race or two last year, so to turn around and go out this year and get it to the final round, that's huge. A lot of people have to wait a long time to do that, and he is running the same vision program that I was using, so it was like a team closer to home to watch him. That was my number one. Number two would be watching Ryan Aylor get his first win. I'm very excited for him. We were hoping to maybe team up with him. So to just sit back and watch him progress was phenomenal. My third favorite moment was to watch Angie Smith hit the 200-mile-an-hour club. Of course, you always want to be the first to go 200, but when you're struggling and sitting back, it's awesome to watch it still get taken care of and know that she was one of the first. I mean, it's not like every single male has gone 200 miles an hour and now Angie has. Absolutely not. I think she's, I don't know, like the fourth one or something. It's pretty phenomenal. So that would be my top three moments for the year.
Well, those are some great top moments. I really feel like pro stock motorcycle just does not get the due that it's deserved. And so this year, I think, showed why people really need to pay attention to the class. Yeah, sure, may not have header flames, might not be as thunderous as the nitro cars, but there are so many good stories within that racing, within the pits and on the track, from the bad blood that there is to the camaraderie to the performance that's out there. It's definitely a great class, and I hope that more people are going to be looking to it. And looking to 2021 racing for Andie Rawlings, what does it look like?
I have no idea what it looks like. I'm open to a lot of things. I was tootling with the idea of pro drag, so I was looking at nitro this year and didn't get that far either. Donnie Huffman, of course, I mean, we still got lots we can go do in the ET class, but another story that I don't know if I showed that picture, but in Gainesville is gas bike as well, and we got to learn a lot as a quick team that a 100-pound driver takes a little bit of different setup. So we definitely have our challenges in front of us, but it was still a lot of fun to get on it and drop a clutch and see what it could do. We got lots of racing going on and lots of opportunities to do sportsman stuff, and you never know if a program will fall into my lap for the pro stock motorcycle side. So my options are open. We're excited. Very
cool. Well, look, need to put nitrous on something to the PDRA and Pro Nitrous, and do that. That you need to do that pretty soon. Those guys they're getting after it in the 8th mile. It's pretty amazing to see what they're doing.
Very cool.
So
I have one more shout out.
Go ahead.
One more shout out for Mike. Thanks for using his pictures. He put together some really awesome shirts for me with the live wire on it, and they'll be out on my social media, and we're gonna do an order of shirts. So if you guys want a shirt, let me know. They'll be $20 plus shipping, and Let me know what size you want and who's interested, and we'll start putting together some shirts. We've never had a shirt before, so having something come together is pretty awesome.
I like it. I like it. You know who's going to be purchasing this shirt. I will definitely be getting one. And folks, go check Andie out. Oh, let me make sure. Which one is it? Is it Fast Andie Racing or is it Andie Rawlings on Facebook? Which one is it that they go to, or just go to both?
They can go to both. We'll post it on both. I have an Andie Rawlings athlete page, and then of course my personal page. But on the athlete page and the Fast Andie Racing page, I've been putting a lot of double content so people can access, what we're doing. You can also go see, I posted this evening the passes on race day, the final 3 passes that got me into the winner's circle. Those are posted on both Fast Andie Racing and Andie Rawlings page. And as soon as we hang up, I'll put the shirts out there too.
Very cool. Very cool. So I've got to ask, when was the last time that you made and ate your own waffles?
When's the last time I made and ate my own waffles?
Yes, right.
I don't know. It was recent. I couldn't tell you exactly when. I made 2 days ago and ate them myself.
There you go. There you go. Very cool. Very cool. Well, Andie, look, it's been great having you on, folks. You definitely need to go give Andie a follow, a like on social media. If you like Monday Morning Racer, one of the reasons I'm here is because of this gal, because I was searching around Southern Nationals a year ago, 2019, trying to interview drivers, and I'm like, hey, here's this cool-looking chick with blue sunglasses. Let me go talk to her real quick. And first interview ever was with Andie Rawlings, and it's been snowballing ever since. So again, Andie, thank you for that day. Thank you for being on Between the Slicks right here, and definitely looking forward to hearing you having continual success in your racing endeavors.
Thank you. The pleasure's all mine. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Andie. Take care.
You too.
Well, folks, look, thank you for watching Between the Slicks, as I'm advertising the most diverse drag racing show out there. Where else are you going to find someone talking to sponsors, brands, tool companies, motorcycle riders on an electric motorcycle that happens to be a Harley that's setting records and winning races? Yes, there are some shows out there, they're talking to the champions, and that's all they talk to. There's some, it's just NHRA. There's some, it's just door cars. Want this to be all about drag racing, from, as you can see behind me, the Southeast Gassers, to NHRA, PDRA, ADRL, and the AMRA. So, folks, if you liked it, and I hope you did, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Spread the word about Between the Slicks with yours truly, the Monday Morning Racer. By the way, will not go live next week. It's, well, Thanksgiving. I hope each and every one of you have a happy Thanksgiving. I plan on spending some time with family and enjoying that. But we will pick right back up after Thanksgiving, working on some great guests, and I'm already trying to lay the groundwork for a at least 2-hour Christmas special on the Wednesday before Christmas, hopefully to have some great guests that night as well. Well, I think we have great guests no matter what night it is. Guys, thank you for the encouragement. Michael says, great show. Sam, enjoy the holiday. You too, Sam. Scott, great show. Hey, Mom, I'll be enjoying the holiday with her. Terry, great show. I appreciate that. Sam also says a great show as well as Dell. Thank y'all again. Spread the word for me. And look, you can find me on the Competition Plus Power Hour Tuesdays nights at 9 p.m. as well. If I'm not mistaken, and I'll go ahead and say it, even though the last time I said it, well, the guest didn't show up. That was just some scheduling issues, but we had a great show last Tuesday with Melanie Salemi and Justin Ashley. But next Tuesday, this Tuesday coming, as you could say, at 9 p.m. on Competition Plus Power Hour, it's rumored, it's supposed to be Stevie Fast Jackson and Scotty Cannon. That is going to be a power hour of a show on Competition Plus. Folks, thank you for watching Between the Slicks. The parachute's been out. We're getting out of the car, and we're ready for a turnaround. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. God bless you all, and keep the pedal to the